We open at a birthday party. Casey isn't really part of it. She's sitting alone at the restaurant while the birthday girl, Claire, complains to her parents about having to pity invite her. Claire's already got a reputation for Casey at school. Runs away from home, causes trouble, that kind of thing. When the party wraps up, Casey's guardian can't come get her because the car broke down. Claire's dad offers to drive her home. So it's Casey, Claire, and Claire's friend Marcia in the car while the dad loads the trunk with gifts and leftovers. Then a man named Dennis gets in the driver's seat, puts on a mask, and sprays something in the girls' faces. Casey moves slowly toward the door handle, the car beeps, and Dennis knocks her out too. The three of them wake up in a locked room with no idea where they are. Dennis walks in, sets down a chair, wipes it clean before sitting, stares at them for a moment, and announces he's choosing Marcia first. He drags her out while she screams and Claire pounds on the door until her fists hurt. When Dennis brings Marcia back, she explains what happened. He wanted her to dance for him. Casey's earlier advice to pee herself actually worked, it disgusted him enough to stop. Meanwhile, somewhere else entirely, a therapist named Dr. Karen is watching the news about the kidnapping when she gets an urgent email from a patient named Barry asking for an emergency session. Back in the room, Claire wants to rush Dennis as a group. Casey shuts it down. He's too strong, getting hurt early only makes escape harder. While they argue, Casey drifts into a memory. Her dad teaching her to hunt. Where to aim. How to be patient. Karen's session with Barry is strange from the start. He's relaxed, chatty, jumping between topics, and then suddenly his whole manner shifts mid-conversation. He grabs his sketches and leaves. Karen watches him go, suspicious. In the locked room, the girls spot a woman through the cracks in the door talking to Dennis. Then the door opens and Patricia walks in, except it's Dennis, in a dress. He has dissociative identity disorder. 23 personalities sharing one body. Patricia promises the girls that Dennis won't touch them. They were brought here for a sacred purpose. Karen, separately, is trying to get her research on dissociative identity disorder presented at a conference. She believes her patients' different personalities actually change the body's chemistry, brain scans, allergies shifting between identities, physical differences she can measure. The other doctors think she's romanticizing trauma. They shut her out. Dennis comes back to the room with cleaning supplies and makes the girls scrub the bathroom. He tells them Patricia reminded him they're sacred, and he won't bother them again. That night, a new personality shows up. He sits by the door and introduces himself as Hedwig. He's 9 years old. He tells the girls someone is on the move and that person is coming to do terrible things to them. Casey studies him. He really does have a child's innocence. She starts working him. She tells him she overheard Dennis and Patricia saying Hedwig was going to be the next victim. He cries. The other personalities think he's stupid, he says. Casey promises they're his babysitters, offers to let him watch TV, tells him all he has to do is get them out. Hedwig gets upset and leaves, but his last words give Casey an idea. He said he made the room safe. She taps the walls. The girls find a hollow panel. Claire starts smashing it with her shoe until there's a hole big enough to reveal a vent duct. Hedwig comes back and tries to get in, so Casey and Marcia hold the door while Claire climbs into the ceiling. Then Hedwig switches to Dennis. The door flies open. Claire is already crawling through the vents. She drops into a maintenance room, finds a corridor, finds a changing room, hears someone running, and hides in a locker. Dennis walks past. She thinks she's safe. Then he appears right in front of the locker and pulls her out. He notices a stain on her sweater and forces her to take it off. He locks her in a separate room and comes back to tell Casey and Marcia they won't see Claire again. He takes Casey's shirt too because it's dirty. At the conference, Karen finally gets a slot to present. She talks about a patient whose two hands were simultaneously writing different things, controlled by two different identities. She asks whether people with dissociative identity disorder might be unlocking parts of the brain that the rest of us can't access. The other doctors still aren't buying it. Barry shows up for another emergency session. Karen knows immediately it's not Barry. She's met 23 personalities, she knows their tells. This one keeps rearranging things on her desk. She figures it out, it's Dennis, who was banned by Barry because he makes girls dance for him. Dennis denies it and deliberately stains his clothes to prove he can't have OCD. He walks out through a pile of trash on the street without going around it. Karen watches on the security camera. A person without OCD would have done exactly that. She knows. Back in the room, Patricia comes in with food and flowers and an offer. The girls have been good, so they can leave the room for a while. He takes them to the kitchen. Marcia asks about Claire. Patricia refuses. Then Marcia grabs a chair and swings it at Patricia and runs. Casey shoves the table to block the door. Patricia pulls out a knife and backs Casey down. Marcia finds the next door locked. Patricia corners her too. Dennis visits Casey alone. He tells her the beast is coming for her and asks for her shirt. She drifts into another memory. That night, Hedwig is curled up next to Casey when she wakes. He scolds her for lying before explaining how the personalities work. Barry controls who gets to step into the light, who takes over the body. But Hedwig can come out whenever he wants, and he's been keeping Barry locked away. That's how Dennis and Patricia have been able to take over. They believe in a 24th personality. The beast. Hedwig asks if he can kiss her. She says yes. He gives her an awkward peck. Then he mentions he loves dancing by the window in his room. Casey asks if they could dance together there. Hedwig catches on immediately, he knows she's trying to trick him again. So Casey does something different. She tells him the truth about herself. That she gets in trouble at school on purpose so she can sit alone in detention. Away from everyone. Something in that lands. Hedwig agrees to take her to his room when there's an opening. Karen gets another middle of the night email. She goes in frustrated and finally confronts Dennis directly. She brings up an incident. 2 high school girls grabbed Barry's hands as a dare and put them somewhere inappropriate, laughing as they ran back to their friends. Every personality she spoke to said it was fine. Karen knows it wasn't. She thinks the incident dragged up old abuse. She tells Dennis she understands why he took over. She's not judging him. She wants to help all of them. Dennis drops the act. He tells her that he and Patricia are mocked by the other personalities. That he didn't send those emails. And then, quietly, he tells her the beast is real. He's seen him. He's coming. Hedwig sneaks Casey out to his room. He plays music and dances in a way that's deeply unsettling. Casey pretends to enjoy it. She asks about the window and finds out it's just a drawing. She starts crying and begs Hedwig to help her escape. He feels bad and gives her a walkie-talkie. She turns it on and a voice answers. Casey yells out her situation. Hedwig panics and hits her with a bat. She dodges, wrestles it away, grabs the radio again. The man on the other end thinks it's a prank. Patricia appears and takes the walkie-talkie back. On the way back to her room, Casey spots a nail that fell from the door and pockets it. Dennis returns and explains the beast. A sentient being. The highest form of human evolution. A flashback cuts in, Uncle John taking young Casey into the forest, telling her animals don't wear clothes, manipulating her into undressing. She points a gun at him afterward. He takes it from her hands without flinching. Back in the present, Casey has a breakdown. She thinks she's going to die down here. Karen gets dozens of panicked emails from Barry and drives to the address. Dennis lets her in. He shows her around, there's a room for every personality. He tells her he remembers every beating his mother gave this body, that the Dennis personality was born out of the need to keep everything spotless so his mother wouldn't get angry. And then he tells her the truth. He has met the beast. The 24th personality is real. He's on the move right now. Karen pretends to be fascinated and suggests they continue tomorrow at her office. On the way to the bathroom, she stuffs a tissue in the keyhole of a door. In the hallway, she finds a bolted door and opens it. Claire is inside. Before Karen can process what she's seeing, Dennis sedates her and locks her up. While Dennis leaves to buy flowers, Claire starts talking loudly through the wall so Marcia can hear her. Someone came. They need to find a way out now. Marcia bends a hanger and works at the bolt on her door. Casey uses her nail on the lock until it gives. She's out, but the next door is locked. She finds a computer with no internet. She opens video files and finds recordings of each personality. Barry sits on camera and admits he's worried because the others are taking over more and more. At a subway station, Dennis sets down his flowers, steps into an empty train car, takes off his shirt, and his body starts changing. The beast emerges. He climbs on the roof and jumps. A police dog outside a tunnel goes absolutely berserk. The beast moves through the neighborhood in the shadows. He reaches the house and vaults the gate. Marcia gets her bolt open. Karen wakes up dizzy, grabs a knife, and the beast walks in. He thanks her for everything she did for them. She stabs him repeatedly. The blade snaps. He wraps his arms around her and squeezes until her spine breaks. Casey finds the keys under a hat in the spot she saw on the video. She gets into the corridor and checks on Marcia's room. Marcia is dead on the floor, stomach torn open. She hears something in the next room and opens it. The beast is eating Claire. Casey locks the door and runs. She finds Karen's body and a note written in shaky, barely legible handwriting. It says, "Say his name. Kevin Wendell Crumb." The beast bends through the door and crawls along the walls toward her. Casey starts repeating the name. He drops. He gets dizzy. He passes out. A flashback shows a small boy being beaten by his mother, who always used his full name when she punished him. Kevin wakes up. He's himself, scared, confused, devastated to see Karen dead. Casey tells him what happened. He asks for the date and realizes he's been in the darkness for 2 years. He tells Casey where he hid a gun and asks her to end it. He's tired of hurting people. Then the body starts cycling through personalities rapidly. They all beg her not to shoot. Dennis takes hold and announces the beast is ready. He drops to his knees and starts changing. Casey grabs the gun and runs. She finds bullets in the changing room locker, loads the gun, and the beast tackles her in the hallway. He bites her leg and rips her shirt off while she loads. She aims, he vanishes. She finds a locked door and has a breakdown against it. Another flashback. Her dad died when she was young. Uncle John became her legal guardian. He's been in her home ever since. The beast moves along the ceiling, breaking every light as he goes. She shoots. He dodges. She hides in a cage and fires again. He says bullets can't hurt him. She keeps firing anyway and drives him to his knees. There are wounds, he's healing fast, but he felt it. Then he sees the scars on Casey's body. Old ones. From years of abuse. He goes still. He says she's different. That she's been through the same kind of pain that made him. That her heart is pure. He laughs softly and walks away. Casey sits in the cage and cries. In the morning someone finds her and brings her out. The basement is underneath a zoo. Her kidnapper worked there as a security guard. Police and paramedics arrive. They search every room. Kevin is gone. Somewhere in an abandoned building, the personalities gather and look at the wounds on their shared body that healed themselves. They understand now what they are. And they know the world is finally going to have to take them seriously. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe for more notifications. Until next time. See you soon.